नमस्ते। हमारे प्रेजेंटेशन का टॉपिक है स्मार्ट सिटी। आइए देखें, आशा है आपको पसंद आए।
Human beings have spent most of their time on the planet as hunter-gatherers. From at least 85,000 years ago to the birth of agriculture around 73,000 years later. We were supposed to be hunter-gatherers, but with technologies, we produced more food and ratcheted up the population. And about a decade ago, we became an urban species with more than half of humanity living in urban areas. It is like a big ratchet which cannot go back. We are going to remain urban species in near future. Measures to slow or even reverse urbanization in the mid-20th century proved to be both misguided and spectacularly unsuccessful. They flock to them or are driven to them for economic and social reasons. But once they need the services and amenities that make life not just possible but good. According to Times columnist, we are now entering Anthropocene, a geological epoch marked by colossal and rapid human impact on Earth's systems. The rate of migration from rural areas to urban areas is increasing day by day across the world. In 1948, the urban nations determined the World Town Planning Day would be commemorated every 8th November in order to acknowledge and promote role of planning in sustainable communities. On that very date, the world rural population surpassed the world urban population. However, the 21st century is being known as the century of cities. According to UN, already in July 2007, the urban population surpassed the rural population in the world. Currently, cities consume 75% of world's resources and energy and generate 80% of greenhouse gases, occupying only 2% of world's territory. As cities are responsible for a rather large share of global CO2 emissions, they need to engage themselves more than ever in this field of action in the future. Without a doubt, this evolution raises a very important change with regard to the deployment and management of all types of infrastructure within cities. Thus, we need smart cities. Let's see some views of people about the concept.
I've heard about it, but then I don't really have like an idea of what makes a smart city and what separates it from the other cities. I have no idea about that, to say the truth.
Any city having a planned structure, in having a good environment, having a green belt like that, and the proper waste management and sustainable energy or clean energy, planned road and for communication and transport, and update with the upcoming high technologies. It will be undercome in the smart cities.
A smart city, according to me, is a place, an urban space which dwells with sustainability and development at the same hand. It has a sustainable environment, a sustainable transport system, a sustainable infrastructure, a sustainable market facility system, and all of the things go hand in hand.
A smart city goes hand in hand with green city, I would say, which is economically friendly, which has the low rates of carbon emissions, which is basically an environmental friendly and which is developing in a sustainable manner.
Smart cities are those cities wherein we have a sustainable management of our resources. That is, in spite of the resources being used to satisfy the needs of our present generation, we also save and preserve these resources as per to satisfy the needs of the future generations to come. Also, these are cities wherein the public commodities are very easily accessible, like transportation.
We saw varied definitions of smart cities, but there is one word with which smart city is incomplete.
Development must meet the needs of today without compromising the needs of tomorrow. This idea was at the core of the 1987 UN report, Our Common Future, otherwise known as the Brundtland Report.
So, what exactly is smart city? Smart city can be a city which uses information and communication technologies so that its crucial critical infrastructure as well as its components and public services provided are more interactive, efficient, and so that the citizens can be made more aware of them. A smart, sustainable city is an innovative city that causes information and communication technologies and other means to improve quality of life, efficiency of urban operation and services, and competitiveness, while ensuring that it meets the needs of present and future generation with respect to economic, social, environmental, as well as cultural aspect. Now the task before us is how to build the cities of tomorrow. There are certain examples from the world which can be implemented all over to address the problem. The first one is South Korea. This city has been built from scratch. The designs have been taken from many countries of the world. They have a central park like New York City, little pocket parks like Savannah, grand canals like Venice, opera house like Sydney. They have taken best from different places. In UAE, Masdar, which is now known as Renewable Energy City, was supposed to be 100% carbon neutral. So the buildings are constructed at 45 degrees to the equator, so at every point of the day there is shade. And the streets itself are very narrow so that it has more shade while walking. In this way, they tackle the urban heat island effect. In Rio de Janeiro, the urban population is already set, and they now just upgrade their cities.
Smart city should be a livable city, enjoyable city, and safe city. And livable in the sense that residents should not be worrying too much about water supply, safe water, electricity supply should be regular, city should be clean, bus facilities, transport facilities should be good, walkability should be there. Such are the parameters for smart cities. Concept of a smart city with IT focus is also there, but that has come from the West, where the basic needs what I mentioned before, like clean city, like good water supply, like electricity supply, like good walkways, this is all there already. And therefore they are talking of smart city as highly IT enabled city.
Right.
Now for us, if the garbage is all over strewn around and then you talk of, IT enabled everything, so it doesn't work out very well. So it has to have IT. I'm not saying it is not required. You require IT to manage even the waste. You require IT to manage water supply and so on and so forth. But then that is the only means. Fundamentally, we have to work on livable, clean cities and then top it up with IT services, IT enabled services.
Right from the urban infrastructure to the way we transact business in that particular town, the way we take care of social sector, that means schooling, health, security, e-governance.
After bifurcation, there is a crisis. We wanted to convert this crisis into an opportunity.
ये जन भागीदारी से होगा, जन संकल्प से होगा.
Since we know there is no exact definition of a smart city, it simply means making the lives easier for all by providing them smart solution of their day-to-day problems. Also, every city has its own identity. For example, Surat is known for diamond, so we can't think of converting it into Dubai. in order to convert it into a smart city. In order to fulfill the necessities according to the requirements is the basic function of a smart city. The smart city scheme is of government, but works are done by the residents and by the residents. The responsible authorities take up the work and goes to decided venue and talk to citizens over there. They talk to the citizens regarding their problems, ask them to prioritize the problems, discuss the local solution with citizens. After that, citizens give the solution and feasible solutions are considered. The selection of cities are done through a competition-based process. Only those cities are selected which have potential to be smart. The competition is held in two stages. The population and the structure of town is taken into account while selecting the city. After complete discussion, the documentation is done. This document is known as SCP, Smart City Proposal. This proposal is itself a Bible and includes vision, goal, fund generation techniques, and the smart solutions. Each proposal is then evaluated and scores are given. The top scorers are then selected as top cities developed into smart cities. Rest cities are given guidelines and advices regarding the discrepancies to further upgrade the proposal. To an answer to question that instead of making the cities smart, why doesn't not government plan to make the cities smart, we got to know about the Urban Initiative by government which plans to make the village smart. This is very innovative idea for stopping migration from villages to the cities. Every task is full of challenges when it comes to ground level issues. The major challenges in creating a smart city include lack of information. Most people and other stakeholders are not aware about smart city program. Sometimes they do not want to understand also. Lack of data is another major challenge which is faced by project estimators when it comes to plan a project for densely populated city. Thus when there is no data, no planning can be done and will need to no investments. When there are no standards, no professionalism will be there, thus no compliance, and if no target is set, there will be no deadlines and no fine. Thus, nobody will show concern. You can't change anything in city unless you can change people's mindset first. Private interventions in some projects can cause rise in price which sometimes some people can't afford. Many institutions are involved to attain a single objective, so the pace of work depends on every single individual and at the same time is affected by any single institution lag behind. Corruption and misunderstanding between local authorities are some tough to tackle. Recommendations for creating a smart city include creating a city where every activity should have particular role and area. Commercial area, industrial area, residential area, proper waste disposal system, schools and hospitals. Government should motivate public participation in this program. Government should also plan outreach program about this program in school, public conference, etc. The smart city should be an integrated concept, not only mitigating climate change but also for human well-being in sustainable way. Government should plan out the following standards to facilitate stakeholders to understand and implement smart city program. Smart home standards, smart village standards, smart institution standards, and smart services standards. For setting a teamwork spirit to have a small implementation of proposed work we need smart tools, smart operations, smart monitoring, evaluation, and smart system. Setting out award or benefits for a smart city is 100% compliance to motivate other cities. This can be given in the form of Smart City Green Star, recognition to general public, Smart City Certificate, proof of compliance document, cash, incentive or motivation for continuous improvement by developing walking corridors to avoid walking traffic and staying out in population.
वीडियो देखने के लिए धन्यवाद।